Hey, 𝗟𝗶𝗱𝗃𝗀𝗃 here. I am back with another episode on January 21st. I almost said the 19th. January 21st. And if you're not familiar with this, 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗀𝗃 is a company that I'm starting. It's a government contracting business in the federal market, starting it on January 1st and going to December 31st. I'm going to show you how, if you follow the process I teach over and over, if you follow that process, you too could build a company to $1 million in 12 months. And so this is good for people who are brand new. That's really who it's targeting. But you could be a $10 million company and trying to get repeatable $1 million increments going forward. You can follow the same processes, because once I get past this part of standing up your business, the rest of the year is just going to be me calling people, setting up meetings, trying to get business. Same as you would do if you're a $100 million company. The process is not different. What's different is how much past performance or experience you can say to the customer, how much name recognition, all that kind of stuff happens when you're really experienced. But the process is the same. Knocking on a door, try to convince somebody to buy what you sell. All right. So if you don't know who I am, I'm 𝗟𝗚𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃. I'm president of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Want to welcome you to this journey video where today I'm going to be talking about the capability statement. I've had a busy day. In fact, I had to cancel my regular weekly live, but I never want to cancel this on you. If I can be here, I'm going to be here 365 days. So you can see me building this business 1 hour at a time. Or today, in this case, it was like 15 minutes that I could spend today, but it's a good use of the time because I'm experienced. I can do things a little faster, but I'm hopefully going to show you good stuff. So the first thing I want to show you is the capability statement. By the way, if you haven't watched the previous episodes, go binge watch from episode 1. You can do that. And if you're trying to build $1 million plus business, it's worth watching how I build this business. But today, I want to cover down the capability statement, begin to have you see how I'm outlining what I want to put on there. The capability statement's purpose, it's a marketing asset. Its purpose is to just get me a meeting. And so I'll show you a few things more that I've done since the last time we talked about the capability statement. The other thing is I want to introduce you to metadata. This is one of the most important things in any file that you create for your business. So it doesn't matter whether it's a marketing asset, a proposal, et cetera. If you create it on a computer, there's something called metadata. The very first piece of metadata you will recognize is the file name. If you create a picture, it says 𝗟𝗚.jpg, or if you create a document, it says 𝗟𝗚.doc, or an Excel spreadsheet, 𝗟𝗚.excel. You get the point, right? That file name is the first piece of metadata. And then there's all sorts of other metadata that goes in. And another word for metadata is just properties. So the file name, the date the file was created, the date it was last modified, the author. So me, I'm working on my document. I want to show you that because when you update advanced metadata, it makes your marketing materials come higher in the search results. I'm just introducing you today to the concept, and then we'll talk about it more. So let me share my screen. So here you can see the capability statement. If you're following along, you see me a little bit farther. I took a stab at writing an about section. I'm actually pretty happy with it. Because I'm building this business only 1 hour a day, I'm going with what we call minimal viable product. That's a minimal viable statement that I have about 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗀𝗃. So the top left of my capability statement, I'm saying about 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗀𝗃. We help federal buyers engage industry by maximizing the power of LinkedIn. Full stop, right? As the only social media platform dedicated specifically to professionals, LinkedIn enables federal agencies to communicate with and educate small business suppliers. We bring buyers and sellers together. These are things that I'm hoping that if they read it, they're like, oh, yeah, no, I get it. I don't care because I do something else. I'm not going to meet with you. Or I get it. I care. Let's meet. Right. And so that's powerful enough. It's good enough. By the way, we have a tool on GovCon in a box that's a free tool that you can go in and take a stab at writing it. This I just did really quickly myself because I've been playing in this world a while. But if you go to GovCon in a box, you'll see a bunch of free tools sitting on the homepage. The next thing I did is I was really trying to plan out, instead of specific words, what generally am I looking for? So just doing the header and footer really quick. One thing I did since yesterday is I made my logo a little smaller, and now I can actually see it's a little high just when I'm looking at it. So I'm going to lower them a little bit. And again, I'm not looking for massive perfection there. And then these three statements here, or sections here, core competency. I think what I'm going to do in here, I'm going to leave it say core competency. I'm working with another company where I was just updating their capability statement or giving them a recommendation. And right here where it says core competencies, for them, I said, write deaf communication access, because that was really clear. And then when they come down into that, and it's another way of saying core competencies. I could have put LinkedIn engagement, but I don't think that's as good as them putting deaf communication access. It's like, oh, I see what you're doing. For me, I might lose you or get you. Not just that, but I've got a bunch of LinkedIn stuff. And so then I'm going to break it down into 3 main bullets. And the reason I do this is because when you think about something like core competency, and I say, hey, we do LinkedIn engagement, that means this, this, and this. People remember 3s. If I give a speech, whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours, it's 3 bullets. Now, if it's 5 hours, I break those 3 bullets up into, I talk about them a lot longer. I might introduce a lot more exercises or stories, but it's the same thing. We remember 3 things: core competency, past performance, and differentiators. 3 things on the capability statement, right? Inside of the core competencies, 3 things: LinkedIn 1, LinkedIn 2, and LinkedIn 3. I'm looking forward to figuring out what I write there. And then the past performance, I just wanted to kind of line it up and go, well, if I gave myself 2 lines to say a past performance type project or something I can put there. Remember, I'm starting 𝗟𝗶𝗶𝗃𝗃 with no experience. I can't, I don't have a past performance. I'm not going to be able to say I worked with the Army. So here I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, lucky 7. So I can, now I'm telling myself, well, what 7 examples can I use related to past performance? I might even change, now that I think about it, past performance here, because it's not really past performance, to experience. And the last one is differentiators. And you can see I've got 6 differentiators, and these are just going to be single line. I might come back and change those to just 3 differentiators on 2 lines each. One other thing I'll point out is all of this font, if you look at up here, it's 14-point font. Don't go below 14-point font on your capability statement if you can avoid it. Even down there in the footer, that's 14. I think it's 14-point font. Yeah, it's the NAICS code's 14-point font. First off, you want to be concise. The more, if you go down to 12-point, you got too many words. The other thing is you're just making it easier. Imagine going to a matchmaking event. I'm going to a defense forum event in DC that I'm moderating for them. And they've got 200 people basically coming to this to do matchmaking. Imagine the person sitting on the matchmaking table getting capability statement after capability statement, and there's yours, and they don't have to squint to read it or any of that stuff. It's just simple things. So, all right, that's where I'm at on the capability statement. The other thing I wanted to show was just metadata. So if you come in here to the, for me, I'm on Microsoft Word. You got to figure out where it is on whatever tool you use. But if you go to File, right here is something called Info. And if I click on Info, you might see it also known as Properties. But if I click on it, and I come over here to the right-hand side, you can see the properties that I have here. Let me just make sure this part is sharing. Good. Okay, so let me see if I can zoom in really quick. No, it doesn't let me zoom. Can I zoom this way? No, I can't zoom in. Sorry. But it doesn't matter. I'll just tell you what's here. So in here, some of the things that are important are like a title. So I'm going to put in capability statement. Oh, that's funny. My title says template. I just realized that. Got to change that. But capability statement, and then I'm going to do 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 to get my company name, and I'm going to say January. I might even say February, because I know it's not going to be January. So February 2025. Now I'm letting them know my company name. And the thing, and one last thing I might do just on the company name is just put in LinkedIn engagement experts. I'm just putting something there. You put whatever you want. So right there, you see that I've got this title. Now what happens is inside of a government's, they have an enterprise servers, storage, hard drive, whatever you want to call it. When they upload this to the hard drive and they're looking, they will see this full title. I will probably go back and rename the file name, and hopefully you know how to rename file names. I'm not showing you that today, but I'll go back and rename the file name the same. The next thing I do is I grab the title, and down here is the subject, and I just put the exact same thing. So now if I look at these and I hover above it, you can see this information. This data is going in to the properties of the file. When I create an Adobe Acrobat PDF file, it will retain all this. And then one other thing you'll see, so here I'll put in 𝗟𝗶𝗃𝗃𝗃, 𝗟𝗟𝗃𝗃 LLC. And then usually when I'm doing it, I put in like my name, where I'll say GovCon Chamber and then Neil McDonnell, because it's just another place for my name to show up that might get found. And the last one I'll show you in here are the tags. So here I've got tags, and I'll come back and finish them a lot better later. But here I'm doing LinkedIn. I'm doing social media. I literally can't remember if social media is 1 or 2 words, but social media. And then I'm also going to type newsletters, and then I'm going to do virtual networking. And I'll stop there because you get the point. I'm putting in these tags, and these tags are metadata that is on this file. So if somebody in the federal government, inside of the agency, Department of Education, if somebody in there does a search on their enterprise system, they might see this come back. Or if just the small business specialist or a contracting officer searches their own hard drive and they're like, I wonder if I got anybody who does newsletters, and they type in newsletter, because I put that in, it will come up. And here's the thing. If I put right here, like LinkedIn newsletters, right? And I am going to put it here in the core competency, but if I put it here and it's on the front of the capability statement, but I also have it in the metadata, anybody who has it on the front, like you can see right now, anybody who has it there, all of our capability statements will come up. But if I have it in the metadata, mine will be first results, because the way that computers work is it first looks at metadata to identify what the data is in this file, and then it looks at the text of this file. Hopefully that makes sense as you go along and you see me do more of this. And as I finish this up and I show you on the PDF, hopefully you're doing the same thing along with yours. Okay, so that's what I wanted to do for today's training, is just really talk to you about the capability statement and the progress I made there. I'm going to, between now and the next time we meet, depending on whether the LLC stuff is ready for me to work on, I'm going to go in and start filling in those blocks where you saw me say LinkedIn, 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 right? I'm going to start filling those in so you see what I do. And then the metadata I'll do later. I don't need to do it now because I need to determine what I want the metadata to be for everybody. So I can always come back later and perfect it. But that's the primary thing I'm going to keep on working. And I'll try to finish it up so the next time I show you, not finish it up, but finish up sections, show you how I've got it in play. But basically what my capability statement is doing for me is it's helping me go through this exercise of what am I selling, right? And what are some of the past performances? And I'm looking at that, preparing for meetings I'm going to have. I'm looking at that going, is it making it clear what I sell? Do these experiences or past performances, right? Do these experiences shout out, this guy knows what he's talking about, or this company, Nancy Co, knows what it's talking about? All right, we're done. I will see you in the next episode.